We're back for another episode of You Can Grow It, and since it's that time of year when we look at pruning trees, I brought in an expert, Matt Perkins, a Boise City arborist, to talk about the best methods on pruning back ornamental and fruit trees. Matt, why is this the best time of year to do it?
The best time of year to prune these trees is typically when they are still dormant, and that causes the least amount of injury to the tree.
But before you start, make sure you have the proper tools and safety equipment.
It's good to have a variety of tools to choose from, and it makes doing the job a lot safer and easier for you.
Basic tools include various saws and pruners, some with extendable handles to reach the higher branches. And don't forget personal safety equipment, including gloves, safety glasses, and even a hard hat. Now you're ready to start pruning.
First of all, you look for the dead wood, the damaged branches, and crossing branches and maybe diseased tissue. And that's what you focus on first before removing any healthy live tissue from the trees.
You'll also want to create a safe headspace under the branches, such as over walkways or where you'll be mowing the lawn.
A lot of people will have the tendency to just make a blind heading cut, whereas I've removed the branch and made the clearance, but now the cut that you've made on that tree is not a desirable type of cut. There is no chance for the tree to continue to produce new sprouts from that type of cut. More desirable cut to make would be to follow that back to another branch and make your cut just below that branch, like that.
But what about much larger branches?
Removing slightly larger branches calls for a different type of cut.
To prevent damage to the tree, Matt uses a three-step cutting process.
First cut would come out from the point of where you want to finish your cut, about 6 to 12 inches, and you'd want to make an undercut. Now the reason you make that undercut is because you want to prevent the tree from actually stripping off the bark of the tree when the branch falls off.
Once you've made the undercut, move a few inches toward the end of the branch and make a cut on the top side. Notice how the undercut prevented the branch from tearing the bark as it fell off. Now you can cut off the shorter branch stub, which comes off cleanly.
There, now I've made a nice clean cut at a good spot, and I haven't caused any damage to the rest of the tree.
All of these spots up the trunk of the tree are where branches were cut off some time ago.
And here we have a great example of where a proper cut has been made.
At the base of every branch, there's a region called the branch collar.
You notice the swollen area at the base of the branch where it meets the trunk.
Cutting just above that branch collar allows the tree to produce new wood, which will begin to grow over the cut and seal it off.
Eventually, you won't be able to see where those branches were anymore. Now we can look at fruit trees a little bit, because fruit tree pruning is quite a bit different from pruning ornamental and shade trees.
On fruit trees, there are two types of buds to watch for when you're pruning: vegetative buds and fruiting buds. The flat-looking buds that hug the stem are vegetative buds. They won't produce fruit, just leaves and branches. But this bud is plumper and extends away from the stem. That's how you know this is a fruiting bud.
That's where you will get flowers and then fruit. So in pruning fruit trees, we want to leave as much of this growth as we can and remove a lot of the vegetative growth. The best time to prune your fruit trees is going to be right about now, just as those buds are starting to swell.
Each of these would be an apple?
Yes.
Fruit trees prefer an open canopy to allow plenty of sunshine and air circulation to better ripen the fruit. And keep in mind that it's better to have fewer large, good quality fruit than a lot of little fruit. So thin out the fruit buds to about 1 every 2 to 5 inches for the best fruit development. Now is the best time of year to do some pruning before the trees come completely out of dormancy, because pretty soon the leaves will start sprouting and the fruit blossoms will start to swell as well. For Idaho's News Channel 7, I'm Jim Duthie.
If you have a newly planted fruit tree, it's best to let it go through a season or two before doing too much pruning. After that, fruit trees should be pruned every year. Shade and ornamental trees only as needed.